What's up, guys? Rob from Legit Brands Gaming here, bringing you another episode of Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver. And yesterday, I got a comment from a user called Rocket Ken, who, among other things, said, also to comment on something you said on the 100% video. I always thought that the purple car you unlock at the greenhouse, so this one, was terrible when I was a kid. But lately, I found that car is really good in aerial areas. However, in order to use it properly, you have to make sure you're not holding the up key until after the starting light turns green. Then after starting, you get full speed almost immediately and don't get any of the crashes you get when you go full throttle from the start. It also appears to be the only car that gains speed while in the air, which is interesting. I've only tried it in a greenhouse level though. I'm tempted to do it at the sandbox level too, since you get a lot of airtime in that level, but I haven't tried it yet. So, this car and this car are the two best in the game, in my opinion. This one just has a higher top end speed. This one gets up to speed a little faster. So, yeah, he's not talking about this one. This one's just garbage. So, what we're gonna do, in order to run some baseline comparisons, I'm just gonna run this race with this purple car here. And then we're gonna do it with the gold car. And I'm not gonna do any tricks for these first couple of races. That way it's more of a comparison of just the cars themselves. And after that, we'll do some racing using tricks and stuff. That way it's more like an accurate comparison to what it would be like in an actual race. We're getting tons of lag here. I'd say we'll run about 5 races, no tricks, with each car. Then we'll take an average time, and we'll try and run 5 races with tricks with each car. I'm gonna write this down here. So in-game time was 55 seconds. So let me open a little notepad here on my other computer. Purple car, no tricks. So IGT and RTA. So in-game time was 55 seconds. What was our RTA here? Minute 14. 1:14:05. So we'll do 5 more races of that. There we go. That should be splitting now. Anyway. So I guess in the meantime I'll kind of talk to you. He commented, you know, since ever doing that 100% run, did you ever really see yourself speedrunning in this game? And the answer to that is actually no. I never really thought of speedrunning any game, actually. I didn't really think I had the patience or the technical ability to do so. You know? Just as far as like, you know, I like to think I'm good at video games, but speedrunning you have to be like really good at like a particular game. Like I follow the SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom speedrunning community, and holy crap, you have to be like on point with that game. So that one was 53 seconds in game time. So 53 and 1:10:37. The reason I'm keeping track of in-game time as well as RTA is to eliminate like lag. So I don't want this to be like if, you know, one of the cars gets run in its lag in its run, that it like skews the time. So if there's a disparity between RTA and the in-game time, that we'll know why. The in-game time isn't affected by lag at all. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this game requires a lot of skill to run. It doesn't. It takes a lot of practice, though. Like as you saw in my my run, it took me like 40 plus runs just to get an 810, and after that it took me like 57 runs just to get an 801. And I mean, I know, like, again, compared to other speedrunning games, that's like nothing. Like some games, like again Battle for Bikini Bottom, you'll do like 300 runs and get like maybe sub like 120 or something like that. Like, you gotta put a lot of time and effort into that game. So it was 110.54 or 24, excuse me. So I mean, it's just interesting to think about, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna finish up doing excuse me. I'm gonna finish up doing these last 2 runs. I will just fast forward them so you guys don't have to sit through them, and you'll catch me when we start doing the purple cars runs. Alright, anyway, after doing stupid amounts of math, the average time, in-game time is 53.2 seconds, and the average RTA is 1 minute, 10 seconds, 82 milliseconds for the purple car. So, we'll do 5 runs here. The gold car, and we'll see where that takes us. I have a hunch that the purple car is still going to be faster, but we'll see. If this that the gold car is going to be faster, excuse me. If the purple car is faster for these aerial heavy areas, like the comments said, then maybe we can route it in. Who knows? But I guess it also comes down to both cars essentially, they had the same level of steering and the same steering stat. So essentially the issue with would it be faster doing tricks is negligible, considering both cars have the same speed in the air as far as executing tricks is concerned. So that's not really going to be a factor. So gold car, no tricks. Once again, in-game time versus RTA. So in-game time for this one is 53 seconds. What was our RTA here? 1:11:28. It's actually somewhat slow, it feels like. Oops. Oh, there you go. Interesting. I mean, that's faster than the first run with the purple car, but it's also slower than every other run we did with the purple car, so that's quite interesting. I mean, maybe there is something to the purple car maintaining more speed through the air. I don't know if it necessarily gains speed. It doesn't gain speed through the air. You know, I'll just say that right now. Rocket Ken said that it seems to gain speed through the air, which is just not true. All cars lose speed through the air. I thought maybe he had noticed something I didn't, but your car will lose speed through the air no matter what car you're using. But if it maintains more of its speed through the air, then perhaps it would be faster for these aerial heavy levels, because you do a bunch of tricks, and then if you can maintain most of your speed through your air, then you'll land with more momentum. Perhaps that'll lead to faster time. So 109.08. I suppose another way to do this would just be to do runs using the purple car on these levels and see if I'm golding those times or not. Because obviously if I'm golding those splits, then that would indicate that the purple car is indeed faster on these aerial heavy levels. Which, if that's the case, then that might be the key to breaking the barrier of 8 minutes. Although, I think another key thing in breaking 8 minutes is just not getting gold times on the races before the game room, because that little music plays and that little animation actually wastes about a second, which over the course of a bunch of different runs will lead up to a lot of time lost. And I think on my other run, had I not golded all those segments, I probably would have broken that 8-minute barrier. But I'm gonna finish up these last two races, do the math, and then you guys will join me back here once that's all done. Alright guys, I'm back. And I redid the first race with the purple car because it felt like a statistical outlier that it was at 55 seconds and everything else was 53, 52. So the 5 races, and I'm going to throw up a little graphic here for you guys to see. So I'll outline everything here. The 5 races with the purple car, in-game time was 53 seconds, 53 seconds, 53 seconds, 52 seconds, and 53 seconds. RTA was a minute 10:01, a minute 10:57, a minute 10:24, a minute 9:72, and a minute 10:28. For a total elapsed time of 5 minutes, 50 seconds, and 82 milliseconds, which leads us to an average in-game time of 52.8 seconds and an average RTA of 110.02. The gold cars races in-game time was 53 seconds, 52, 53, 52, 52. And the RTA was 111.28, 109.08, 110.04, 109.12, and 109.35 for a total elapsed time of 5 minutes, 48 seconds, 87 milliseconds, and an average RTA of 52.4, or an average in-game time 52.4, and an average RTA of 109.62. So what does this mean? It basically means that on average, without doing tricks, the gold car is faster. That's essentially what this boils down to. That on average, in both in-game time and RTA, you're going to have a faster run with the gold car. But it's somewhat negligible. I mean, you can kind of attribute it to human error more than anything. I mean, the RTA was only 4 tenths of a second off, and the RTA was, what, 60 milliseconds off, give or take? Actually, 40 milliseconds off, so 4 tenths of a second. So, in both categories, the car was 4 tenths of a second faster, which in a speedrun can be a big deal. Especially if you're going for milliseconds, it makes a big deal, makes a big difference, you know? And the difference between an 802 and an 801, essentially. But does that mean that the purple car isn't viable? No, the purple car might be viable with tricks, which is something I'm going to have to test as well. But I'm not going to bore you guys with that. I'm going to do that on my own, and then you'll see a graphic for that at the end of this video. So, hang on, wait a minute, and I'll give you my results at the end of this video. Okay guys, so this is a compilation of all the data that I found after doing the various trials here, put into a nice table for you guys to look at here. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of explain a little bit of what happened exactly. So, if you look over on the left side, you see that I noted that you can take plus or minus 2.25 seconds for human average reaction time. So, when we look at the no tricks run, you see all the trials on the left side there, the totals, and then the averages, in-game time being on top and the RTA being on the bottom. The gold car was faster by about 4 tenths of a second for both the in-game time and RTA in terms of the average. In fact, it's pretty much exactly 4 tenths of a second there. So what does that really mean? Again, 4 tenths of a second isn't exactly a big number for this game. 4 tenths of a second in terms of this game could just be something as simple as, you know, bumping the side of the track once and losing a little bit of speed. So if we kind of look at it from a perspective of possible human error in terms of, you know, just hitting the splits first of all, taking the times, and then driving, the time difference kind of becomes negligible here. And if you look over on the tricks side, it stays pretty much the same there as well. The gold car and the purple car actually had the exact same amount of time for in-game time, 4 minutes and 6 seconds total, 49.2 seconds average. So we have to disregard that, and we take a look at the RTA, and the RTA will show that the gold car was faster by 0.58 seconds, so rounded 6 tenths of a second there in terms of the tricks. So again, looking at human error, looking at, you know, human error and hitting the splits, human reaction time, and just driving errors, you can make the argument that yes, the gold car is faster, but you can also make the argument that the difference in time is pretty much negligible. This game isn't to the point where we're really seriously counting milliseconds here in terms of being able to be that much more precise. But even if we were, essentially what this kind of boils down to, for me at least, is that the difference between the two cars is mathematically negligible. It doesn't make a difference what car you use. Perhaps there is something to the idea that the purple car does maintain more speed in the air, considering that the gold car is faster in general as far as getting up to speed is concerned and its acceleration. But the purple car clearly makes up for that deficit somewhere. So perhaps yes, that the purple car does maintain more of its speed in the air. I'm not sure. It definitely doesn't gain speed. I found that through doing 10 or more than 10 if we count for the crashed runs, more than 10 trials with the purple car. It does not gain speed in the air. But perhaps there is something to be said for it maintaining more speed. Whether or not that's true or not, I'm not sure. Whether or not it has a higher top end speed, again, I'm not sure. But what this kind of boils down to is I've discovered that the difference between the two is negligible. So I might do some runs where I route in the purple car for the greenhouse level and for the what's it called, sandbox level, because those two are more aerial heavy. Especially the sandbox level has a ton of airtime in that level. So if the purple car really does maintain more speed through the air, then perhaps it's worth looking into as far as routing it in. So thanks once again to Rocket Ken for the comment. It led me on a very interesting mathematical journey here. It was something that was fun to do, and it's something I thought was worth looking into. So keep an eye out. I might do some more runs here on this game, try and get that sub 8, which is definitely possible. And I hope to see you guys again next time.